The reading from the Holy Gospel today tells us a story about Jesus at the age of 12. And St. Luke, the evangelist, concluded that story by saying, Jesus went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. That was the conclusion, the ending of that story. The magnificent thing about this story is that it shows us, gives us a window into the character of Jesus Christ and into his character as a young boy. If the saying goes through that we can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. If that saying is true, then we have a lot to learn from the story about the character of Jesus Christ and his human side. Think about it. An all-powerful God, respectfully listening to his mother's complaint, or even I could call it criticism, or when she questioned his actions. He's listening to her very respectfully. An all-powerful God respectfully explaining to his mother the reasoning of his action. Again, I emphasize, very respectfully responding to her. An all-powerful God acts respectfully in an obedient way to the commandment of his creation. She gave him an order, and he very respectfully followed that. Jesus' character, Jesus' behavior is not only a roadmap for us to learn and to behave in the same way. It is a roadmap, but not only so. Jesus' character and behavior underlines the impact of the behavior, the style of ways of life, of the role models in our life. It's no coincidence that these role models, we call them influencers. Jesus' character, Jesus' behavior prompt us to realize how our behavior is affected to a great degree by our role models or those powers that we consider them or we elevate them to the level of being our role models, and by the gods we choose to worship. We ultimately will behave in the same way the gods that we worship behaved. Inevitably, the character of our gods, the gods of our choice, whatever that is, the character of our idols will become our own character. There is a direct connection between the character of the gods we worship values we hold high and the principles that we use in our life. Direct correlation. This impact will exist even if these gods are ideologies or philosophies or scientific ideas or fiction ideas. The moment they become on the level of a role model, even if they are fictitious gods, they will impact our principles, our values. This impact will be true even if we are the gods of ourselves. There are lots of people who have this philosophy. They worship oneself. So this type of God they worship, which is themselves, will impact their principles and their values. So the character, the behavior, the principles, the values of individuals and societies are dictated by the gods, by the idols they worship, they adore, or they hold in a high position. Religious beliefs and doctrines, religious doctrines ultimately will be manifested through the principles and the values of the societies and the individuals. So when we try to say, leave religion out of the society, really that doesn't work. Because ultimately, religion is what decides our values. Our values decide about our life and how we treat everything around us. Jesus, in his example today, has dictated that parents and others who are less powerful than us should be shown respect, gentleness, and meekness. Jesus' example today should prompt all wise readers to examine the character and the behavior and the values and the principles and the style of life of the influencers they allow into their life, into their hearts, into their minds, prior to giving them that access. Prior we give any idol, any high person, any doctrine, any religious concept, scientific concept, whatever it is, before we allow that into our inner chamber, we need to examine that style or that principle, because ultimately it is going to impact our behavior once it resides